back to Cindy's Corner, and today we are going to do Tolkien talk because yesterday was Tolkien Reading Day. And why was it Tolkien Reading Day, you may ask? Because March 25th is the day that the Third Age of Middle-earth ended, the day that the One Ring was cast into the fire and destroyed, and Sauron vanquished. So an excellent day indeed to do something Tolkien related. And this year's theme is love and friendship. There's lots of points in Tolkien's Legendarium that we could discuss that would refer to love and friendship. And I want to go back to the very beginning, the Book of Lost Tales. Now, this is Tolkien's earliest version of any of his mythologies, in this case, the First Age of Middle-earth. And he even had a frame story for it. The frame story was an ancient English mariner somehow managed to find himself on Tol Eressëa, the Lonely Isle, and encountered elves there, and encountered little home there called the Cottage of Lost Play. And there he heard all the stories of the First Age of Middle-earth. Now, the Cottage of Lost Plays is an interesting idea because it is not only this place where Errol encountered elves and heard these stories, it is also a place that children can get to through, I forget the Elvish name for it, but the Path of Dreams. This is a place children can come to in their dreams as well. And Tolkien, he wrote a poem about this. The Little House of Lost Play is the title of the final version of the poem. Also, Mar Vanwa Dialieva, which is an early form of Quenya, I believe. Although don't quote me on that, I'm not an expert on anything about the most theoretical, general ideas about Elvish. But let us look at this poem, read this poem. We knew that land once, you and I, and once we wandered there in the long days now long gone by, a dark child and a fair. Was it on the path of firelight that in winter cold and white, or in the blue spun twilight hours of little early tucked up beds and drowsy summer nights, that you and I in sleep went down to meet each other there, your dark hair on your white nightgown, and mine was tangled fair. We wandered shyly hand in hand, small footprints in the golden sand, and gathered pearls and shells and pails, while all about the nightingales were singing in the trees. We dug for silver with our spades, and caught the sparkle of the seas, and ran ashore to green-lit glades, and found the warm and winding lane that now we cannot find again between tall whispering trees. The air was neither night nor day, an ever eve of gloaming light, when first there glimmered into sight the little house of play. New built it was, yet very old, white and thatched with straws of gold, and pierced with peeping lattices that looked towards the sea. And our own children's garden plots were there, our own forget-me-nots, red daisies, cress and mustard, and radishes for tea. There all the borders, trimmed with box, were filled with favorite flowers, with phlox, lupins, pinks, and hollyhocks beneath a red May tree, and all the garden full of folk that their own little language spoke, but not to you and me. Where some had silver watering cans and watered all their gowns, or sprayed each other, some laid plans to build their houses, little towns, and dwellings in the trees, and some were clambering on the roof, and crooning lonely and aloof, some dancing round the fairy rings, all garlanded with daisy strings, while some upon their knees before a little white-robed king, crowned with marigolds, sing their rhymes of long ago. But side by side a little pair with heads together, mingled hair, went walking to and fro, still hand in hand in what they said, ere waking far apart them led, that only we now know. So that is The Cottage of Lost Plays, and the two protagonists are two children, one with dark hair and one with fair. Could they be uh, Tolkien himself, who as a child had fair hair, and his wife Edith, who had dark hair? And did they meet in the Cottage of Lost Plays in their dreams while they were children? It is a sweet thought. There are a couple other interesting notes, and that is the many variety of things the children do. They tend their gardens with all sorts of flowers. They spray each other with watering cans or climb on the roof, dig with spades, or they sing, or sometimes they just wander around together in little groups. So, an adorable picture of childhood friendship that may or may not have presaged something more. One of Tolkien's earliest works. I am guessing this is from the 19 teens. So there you have it. The Little Cottage of Lost Play, where children play and become friends. And that is where friendship really starts, in childhood, no matter what it may develop into later, both between different people and as something a person is capable of. So that is Tolkien Talk for today. Love to hear if you observed Tolkien Reading Day, and if so, what you read, or what you think about The Little Cottage of Lost Play. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. Until next time, I hope we all stay safe and healthy. And as always, happy reading.